G'day guys and welcome to X-Plane 10. This is my kind of new Mitsubishi MU-2B Mar-quee, I think it's called, something like that, Mar-quee aircraft. It's about eight seats in the back, 8 passengers, 2 crew, twin engine, very short wing span aircraft, very fast, 270 odd knots cruising. I am doing a flight simulator economy flight, so I'll get that up and running, log in, start my flight so we can see we've got a full plane here today going from some place called Mar-quee, South Africa to, oh god, Pietermaritzburg, South Africa. So I'm going to do a very simple direct flight. So I'm going to F. It's very easy to manipulate this GPS compared to other aircraft. FA P and M. That's it. Whatever that pronounces. So I'll enter that. It is 145 miles away, so I'm going to cruise today at, let's say, 13,000. Bingo. Excellent. Not going to worry about air traffic control. Flaps are already down. RPM set to take off. Set my desired heading to that. I'll just manipulate some lights. So we want to have nav, taxi. We will deploy our landing lights. We've got wing landing, fasten seatbelt, non-smoking. Temperature is above 0. It's pretty cold actually, so it's going to get quite cold. I'll turn on the anti-ice after I've taken off. It's about a 10-second delay before the landing lights unfold on the nose of the aircraft, so it's quite nice. Let's get ourselves up a little bit. Now there is a little hidden light here which I will turn on. This is the map reading light. I'll turn on heading to get the flight director enabled. Altitude select. Leave that as is. Okay, engines look good. Let's get this thing moving. Break off. It's quite a slick aircraft in terms of run-up speeds, very fast. Getting it through 100 knots. Should be fine to rotate now. Alright, gear goes up. Okay, we'll get the airspeed lock on, lock that in. And we'll just maintain the indicated airspeed. Climb on up as fast as we can, maintaining that airspeed. Excellent. So we've got flaps up, gear is up and locked. We can turn down our reading light, fold in the landing lights. Should be able to, yeah, we can see the wing there, so got those lights on. I might just leave all that stuff on. And we need to turn now to 061, so it's over here. Get GPS navigation going. Excellent, climbing at over 2,000 feet per minute, we should be up to altitude in no time. Then I can give the engines a bit of a break. I will pull back RPM just slightly from takeoff. It's in the green. Temperature is probably quite cold now. Yeah, we're on 0, so we'll get the anti-ice. I don't know, all this stuff. I guess I have not already read the manual, so... What else do we have? Ice wing wipers. We've got wipers, but we can't see them. Two buttons here. Got a monitoring system, but I never noticed much of a difference. Okay, now as we climb, we want to get the pressurization on, which is off for takeoff because it bleeds air from the engines to pressurize the cabin, similar to the anti-ice system, I guess. We'll get ourselves up to probably 2,000 feet. Over time we'll notice that that changes. Alright, we'll go to nav mode now, so we'll get on course. And oh boy is it dark. I don't think there is a way of actually getting the ADI, although was it HSI, to actually reflect the course from the GPS. I think it only shows course information from the VOR, unfortunately. We're going on through 10,000. I'm flying in real time, so this is actually it is 12 minutes past 3 in the morning in South Africa, so that's why it's so dark. Just look up my information on my other screen here for the landing field. We've got grass and asphalt. The asphalt strips 5,000 feet, so that's good. No ILS available. Altitude of the field is 2,400 feet. We'll be there in 48 minutes. It's 137 miles away. Alright, so we're going up through 11,700. You can see that we've got a bunch of fuel tanks on this aircraft. It's got inner tanks, the main tanks. It's got outer tanks, which are out on the wings. And we've got tip tanks, which look like that. They're basically pod tanks on the ends of the wings. So they are empty because we used them first. We've got 650 pounds of fuel remaining in the main tanks. Alright, so we've come up to altitude capture. Speed is coming down, and I'm just going to ease off on the throttle as we get up to our cruising speeds. Here's our ground speed. Indicated airspeed is obviously a bit lower at this altitude, and I'm going to go for about 300 pounds an hour fuel flow. So we've got a 35 minute flight, 650 pounds of fuel, using 300 pounds an hour. So lots of reserve. Okay, so just check a few things. Temperature is now very cold, well below 0. Just make sure I've got the anti-ice stuff is all lit up. Yep, looking good. The frame rate's amazing because there is nothing to see. I guess at this point I can turn off the fasten seatbelt sign. It's a bit tricky to see. It's a very dark cockpit even with the lights on. Excellent, so I guess that's me for the next 30 minutes. I'll see if I can accelerate time. Yeah, I can do about 3 times acceleration without interrupting Flight Simulator Economy, so that's cute. looks like the wind conditions are quite nice as well. Really cannot see anything on the windows. So this aircraft, I actually purchased it a good few months ago. However, it only came out with a patch for 64-bit, I think last week. So I grabbed the update, and the 64-bit patch just means I can run it with Flight Simulator Economy, because my Flight Simulator Economy is 64-bit only, and so if the aircraft isn't available in 64-bit, I can't fly with the plugins for the economy, which kind of negates it. I'm not going to mess around with the 32-bit anymore. I'll just basically wait for the 32-bit version of the aircraft to come out. Some of my aircraft use plugins like Cecil and Gizmo. I don't think this one does, to my knowledge. But I've got some aircraft that was 64-bit compliant, but the plugin has or is written in a way that doesn't meet the requirements of the just-in-time lower memory management, which I think there's a little bit of finger pointing, but basically the X-plane needs to handle, the code needs to handle the memory properly, and so it's got some requirements now that fixes a bug, and so the plugins need to be rewritten to be compliant with those new requirements. So even though it was an X-plane issue, it's the poor plugin developers who have to update their plugins and then re-update their plugins and then re-update their plugins to avoid crash to desktops. So I think there's been a few people who have been complaining about the time that it's taken to update planes to firstly 64-bit, and then like one of my planes is 64-bit when it came out because it was brand new, but it doesn't have the memory management optimizations and be compliant with the new code that stops it from crashing, which means they have to go back and update it again, which might, I mean, it could be months, hopefully weeks, hopefully days, but it could be months, so just bearing that in mind. So my Coronado CT210 is sitting in Kolkata. I'm flying it from Europe all the way to Australia. It's taken a wee while. I've been doing it pretty slowly, but now that I've got a new system that's currently only got 8 gigs of memory, it seems to crash. It didn't seem to do that when I had 12 gigs of memory, so I guess the 12 gigs of memory just meant that it ran out of memory a lot slower than with 8 gigs, and it's become apparent. So I've tried 2 or 3 times to leave Kolkata and fly east and not made it before it's crashed to desktop. That's alright, I'll give that a rest and pick up some other aircraft. The Jetstream 32 has been particularly good. I've just learned, well, I say learned, I've just picked this one up. I haven't really learned it yet at all. Right, 80 miles to go, 17 minutes, so I might start my descent. I have air track, which the video is obviously not going to show because it's on the iPad in front of me. And it is just indicating the situation. It also replicates the a few of the big 6 controls here with my airspeed, altitude, attitude, etc., which is helpful. I can kind of keep the game running, go off into the kitchen, take the iPad with me and see what the airplane is doing and how it's flying, whether the autopilots are all still engaged, etc. It's on the iPhone as well, and walk around the house because it just uses the Wi-Fi network to connect to the air track plugin you see here. And so, in the old time that you're flying and all of a sudden you hit turbulence or one fuel tank runs out of fuel or something like that, you can just keep an eye on it while you're making dinner or making a cup of tea, whatever you want to do. So that's something that I boot up in flight, and I can look at the beacons and the airfields around me. Doesn't seem to be much going on. I think I am flying flying up the coast, quite a bit inland, to basically going outside Durban. Alright, so we've got no ILS 17.9, a beacon here. Okay, 50 miles. What's my direct track? 061. Okay, so get a bit of assistance here. The runway heading that I'm going to take is either 166, so here, or 346, which is, yeah, we'll take 346. So, yeah, if that way, then we'll land on 346. Coming in at 45 miles. Start my descent. Doing this all without air traffic control, so it's going to be a lot of guesswork. So the altitude of the airfield is 2400. At 5 miles I want to be at about 4000 feet. So before that I'll stick to, let's say, 6000. Select that, pitch down very slightly, just roll off the engine throttle, check our fuel, tons of fuel. As we get to about 20 miles away, we'll start extending off to the right to come in on a left-hand turn to the runway heading, and hopefully this Ashveld airfield, airstrip, runway, whatever it is, has lights. If it doesn't, I'm going to have to cheat and change the time of day, which is usually the case if I have to land on dirt or grass. Sometimes smaller airstrips that don't actually have nighttime runway lights. An X-plane, which is probably realistic, and I should never have taken the job at night time, so I just changed the time of day during the flight. Doesn't affect flexibility and economy, and I can land still. Okay, I'm really slowing down, so I'll just keep some throttle on. Excellent. Wouldn't be a good pilot if I didn't keep that on. Strobe on. Get some extra lights on. I also haven't figured out how do I turn on the lights in the cabin. It's just the plug-in options, I think. Poor people on the back. Pilot doesn't know how to turn on the lights. So this one uses Gizmo, obviously, and it is not crashed. So 19 frames per second. That's not right. So it's obviously, well, I think, compliant with the new just-in-time lure memory management. Where are we at? Okay, we're at 20 miles, so I will switch to heading mode. You can see some road lights. lights is probably too faint for the video. Okay, so direct track is now ticking around. I'm going to go straight down to 4,000 feet. Track is 346, sorry, 045, which is there. It's over there somewhere. Let's see. To go. So I turn out again, getting a bit close, and I want that direct track heading to head over towards the runway heading. Otherwise it'll be a short final. Alright, we'll get altitude to hold on now. 9 miles to go. To go. Get a degree of flaps. We'll go down to 4,000. Looks like I've got some roading over there. 7 miles to go. Still no visual. Change the time of day in 1 second. Oh no, it does have lights. Excellent. It's about to change the time of day. Phew. Okay, we should be at around about 1,500 feet, which is pretty much where we are. Get full flaps and turn on to our final. Mu-3 down in green. Getting RPM to takeoff and landing. This aircraft has a tendency to roll, probably because of the very short wingspan. Low, okay, build it up and off to the left. Really wish I had some sort of ILS at this point. Still a bit high, that's right. On target. Down. This is on. Ground idle. There we are. So just to complete the flight, I'll just stop here just for the sake of convenience. Go outside the aircraft, can't really see much of the aircraft. So I'll just change the date and time to forward an hour. For another hour. There we are. So that's the outside view of the Mu-2B. See whatever this place is outside Durban, off in the distance, and the visibility is not great. There's inside the aircraft. Very nice, 64-bit, very nice frame rate, very nice detail. Alright, and just to complete the flight for Flight Simulator Climbing, I'm just going to kill the engines. It freezes, and we're done. Flight is logged. Excellent. Okay, thanks guys, my name's Lindemann, and this is Explain Team.